Mick Motherwell, MickMotherwell.com, Mick Motherwell, Bagpipes to Banjos with the wonderful, the incredible Miss Amanda Moore. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so good to have you. And so COVID's just kind of messed everything up. You are good. I don't want to hide your pretty face. These people need to see more of you, less of me, actually. But you have, you're in this band, Full Moon Folk. So before I go anywhere else or ask anything else, I want to know where we can see you, what you've been doing, where you're at lately, where you're at in the future. Like, where can I find you?
Definitely. So before the pandemic, we were trying to spread out a little bit, get into Jacksonville some. We got into St. Simon's area a little bit, Fernandina, just kind of branch out a little bit from Camden. But we really started kind of building the band here locally.
Right.
And now with the pandemic, we've chosen to stay local a bit, and so we play a lot downtown. Seagulls will play there. Fulford's, they're reopening. They were closed very temporarily just to kind of rebrand a little bit.
It's just been nuts.
Yeah, it has been nuts. And Roots is a new venue downtown. It's a wine bar, Roots of St. Mary's, and we really enjoy performing there as well. Good food, good drinks. I mean, really, that applies to everywhere we play right now. We're having a good time.
How important is that to you as a musician?
The venue?
Good food and good drinks. Screw the venue. I'll ask about that later. But the good food and good drinks.
Definitely, for sure. But we enjoy being proud of the venues that we play at, especially because they are local, just being able to promote that as well as the music, just because there's a lot of good changes going on, around St. Mary's, and we're really excited to see a lot of it.
It's been nuts. Do you have anything coming up soon? As in, like, month?
And
look at this. This is the first guest on my show.
A non-digital calendar.
I wasn't even gonna make fun of that. See, can I finish? Can I fucking finish, please?
Yes.
This is the first guest on this show that's ever been like, yep, you know what? Let me take that and let people know what I'm doing. That's a pro right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Because everyone else, Josh, Casey was like, let me think, man. July 4th. This was like January.
Right.
Come on, man. So I really appreciate that. And I want to know where are you going to be?
Yes. So this Friday, we're going to be at Brackish Brewery, which is on Dilworth Street in St. Mary's. We're playing outside there. They are allowing their customers to come and stay and drink and everything, which is really cool through the
people need it.
Yeah, through the thicker parts of the pandemic, there was like pickup only.
Sure.
But yeah, we're there from 5:30 to 8:30. It's outside, so you can come on your golf cart or just grab a seat and hang out, listen. There's plenty of room for social distancing and all that. Saturday is a little more private. We're at the Tiki Hut in Osprey Cove, so generally it's only open to their residents or whoever's invited by their residents.
Get the invite, folks. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you should. It's a big community, so I'm sure you know somebody. On the 21st, we're at 401 West from 6 to 9. On the 22nd, we're back at No, I'm doing a mural over there on the 22nd. At night, I'm at Outer Banks in Kingsland from 7 to 10. And then on the 29th, we're at Seagulls from 7 to 10. And we really only have like 2 weekends open from now through the end of the year.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, we're booked every weekend, but people can follow us online. We encourage that at our performances for people to grab a business card, grab a sticker. They can find us, follow us. All of our events are posted there. So
where are we at? Facebook.com/
Yeah, Facebook.com/ Full Moon Folk Duo.
Full Moon Folk Duo. That's important. Is that the full name of the band?
We go by Full Moon Folk,
sure.
But I specified that it's the duo band within that, just so it's very specific to us.
I have a couple of questions about that, which is pretty cool.
But
before I get into that part, I just, this is what's important on the show. I mean, you mentioned it. I think you're obviously busy. And I says, not a bad problem I have. Some people look like, oh shit, man, I don't get a day off.
Yeah.
So where did music come from? Like, what hit you? Like, what were you doing when you were like, I kind of want to be a musician. I kind of want to do this for a living, or I kind of want to obviously do it as a passion.
Right.
Like, when did that hit you? And then who were you with? And then to finish it and wrap it up, what were you listening to? And what was happening there?
Well, I've always loved music. I've always loved singing. I picked up a guitar for the first time when I was 18, and I taught myself. I am totally faking it till I make it. I'm not technically trained at all.
So am I.
Yeah, I could not play a scale on my guitar. Bob, my band partner, he's the one who's technically trained.
Very talented.
Yes, it's awesome. We have a really good thing going. We have a really good time. But really, I kind of pushed that away for a long time. You know, just my love of music. I've always had kind of a steady day job, and family's always been a priority. So it's always something that that and my artwork, I've always kind of pushed away a little bit. And I just kind of realized back in 2018, you know what? I've got people who support me, and I just got to get out of the house with my guitar.
Very important.
So I actually started at Jay's Tavern downtown St. Mary's for their open mic night on Wednesdays. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to open mic. I'm just going to do that. And that was just my once a week, something for myself, music related. And one night Bob was there, and he asked me, you want to start a band? And I kind of laughed. Because I'm like, okay, I'm almost 30. Like, there's people out there who do this, but not me, you know?
Right, sure.
And I said, well, I don't have anything to lose. So sure, Bob, let's start a band. And
why not?
3 months later, we started performing and booking paid gigs. Our first one was at Outer Banks, and it was a blast. You know, we had such a good time. We did really well in tips, which we weren't expecting.
It's always good.
Yes. And I think it was a little validation from other listeners that weren't like supportive open mic goers to hear us and not know us and enjoy what we were doing. And, you know, when you're so new to it, just a tip in a jar is like, yes.
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, I mean, that's...
Yes, and it's so much fun.
We don't do it for the money, right? Of course.
Right.
I mean, you're on my show, right? You're obviously not doing it for the money, and neither am I, because I'm on my show. But it's very nice, and it's like it's a little bit of gratitude that they can give you.
Yeah.
And to be fair, without being like, man, you're so fucking awesome. And then you taking away of course I was, you drunk motherfucker. Like, so it's I don't know. That's like, I think it's a really nice thing to do is tip somebody, but I think they're aware as well that it means a little more sometimes than that big hug, which does mean a lot, right?
Right.
So that's a really cool thing.
It was just a really unexpected thing, and it's just been going strong it's 2 years this year since we had started really playing together, learning some cover songs together. It took us a little bit of time to start writing some music. We've only got about 4 or 5 originals right now.
How tough that is to do. Folks.
Well,
it's tough. It's not. I write jokes. They don't come easy, and I'm not saying that. I mean, I write jokes to perform. I know that we can sit in a group and laugh all we want, but you can sit and sing fucking bullshit all day. But writing a song is incredibly tough, and please don't be mad at. We've only got 4 or 5 originals.
I do appreciate that. Thank you. We're looking forward to recording them. It's more mellow stuff. We were really inspired by folk music. Obviously, we're full moon folk. And I was actually just talking about this with a friend yesterday who's also a songwriter. A lot of what I've done so far, it doesn't really have that hook and a main chorus. It's more inspired by things like June Carter, where some of her music is, you'll have 4 or 5 verses and the melody is the same for all of them. And that's kind of what ties it together. It's not so much a verse, a chorus with a bridge chorus, so I'm working a little bit on getting some of those hooks into more of what I'm writing so that it can be a little more of a variety and not so much of the same, even though they're very different. Still, I don't want the theme of how I build the song to necessarily be the same. I think
it's very self-aware of you, because a lot of people will, of course it's tough, and I think this is what I'm interpreting here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is you don't want it to be the same in the chorus melody, because you can write something catchy, but it doesn't mean anything to the actual song. And then 2, when shit sounds the same, like, I'm turning you off after 2 or 3. So it's very self-aware. It's not the confidence. And I don't think that it is, but it's the artistry. So it's very, very cool. And you're a bit of a perfectionist, it seems like.
It's a blessing and a curse.
I understand. But how does that affect your performing in general, even the covers? Like, how does that? How do you approach that part of it? Like,
I think there's a lot of people out there who really have to work really hard. And I wish I could say that we're working really hard, but we are just having fun. I mean, it is crazy. I'll learn a song that I love. And again, I'm faking it till I make it. So I'm doing the most basic chords. Any beginner could play these chords. I'm trying to find the version of the song that I only have to play the same for throughout the whole thing. Maybe play these 3 for the verse, these 3 for the chorus, but easy. I don't want to think about it. I want to be engaged in the lyric. That's my job. I've got the rhythm. I do wear a little tambourine on my foot. I keep the rhythm going with that.
That's good. That's cool.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun. And I'll learn the song, and I swear I'll tell Bob, all right, I've got 5 new ones. Come over. And he'll come over like the day before a gig, and we'll maybe an hour, 2 hours, and I'll just play it. And he knows I'm going to play through the verses, the chorus, and then I'm going to give him a break, and he's going to do his thing, and he finds what key we're in. He kind of listens to the original version of the song. You're trying to celebrate that a little bit, but give it something new. So that way people, when they're listening, it's like, oh, I know this song. So now they're engaged because they know it, but you do something with it that they haven't heard, especially within that own song. So it keeps them engaged from both sides of it. It's like something familiar and something new all at the same time. And we just don't have to think about it. He's just so good at what he does. And I am just so simple about what I'm doing that it just comes together in a really fun way.
That's where the perfectionist and non-perfectionist thing comes in. It's like you're all at the same time. So that you're like, we have to make it different. We have to make it our own. So you've got such a vision on that, and you obviously pull through. I've heard you plenty of times.
Thanks.
And then, but you're also like, no, like you have to just chill with this. You have to be like, so I would marry this girl tomorrow. I know that a lot of you are thinking about it. Unfortunately, her husband's right here.
Yes.
He joined us tonight in the room, but you're doing this all, and you're practicing. You're busy. Yeah. You're busy. I'm pointing at her paper calendar here. I'm sorry, they can't see that. But you're a mom and a wife. Yeah. So how important? How are you juggling that, especially from that in the last 2 years and the progress and the evolution of it? And then 2, how important was, I mean, hopefully, obviously, the support behind you?
Well, how my family felt about it was definitely always a priority. That's what.
Absolutely. Gotcha.
And I didn't really give them a chance to support me, and that's my own fault, kind of just assuming that the time that I would have to give to something that I wanted to do would take away from other things that were important, our family time, things like that. But really, our whole family loves music. There's just a love for music. My oldest stepson, he's 15 now. He plays piano. He's very gifted at that. The youngest, my stepdaughter, she loves singing. She loves guitar. She actually goes to Jerry Lee's Music Store to do her guitar lessons, once a week. And
that's a Jerry Lee's Music in downtown St. Mary's. Check them out. Check out the mural on the side as well.
Thank you. And she gets her vocal lessons through the Free Studio of Music.
Free Studio Music right there by Shadow On in St. Mary's, Georgia. Big shout out to Big J out there. Whoever the hell else is out there, I don't know. I'm sorry, but they're doing great things.
They are. So they also do Jonah's piano lessons too there, and it's just really great at trying to build her confidence with singing and everything. But I've brought her to family friendly venues that do open mic, and she sang with me once or twice doing that.
That's great.
Anytime we play a venue that is a family friendly venue, we bring them, and I think it's good. Even that they can see, like, if this is something that they want to do, it's really not difficult to do. As long as you apply yourself, you practice, you understand the importance of delivering quality music, even if it is cover music, that it's something that's doable.
Well, how important it is, you say, even though it is cover music. I get it. I know what you're saying. But at the same time, that's your family's there. Yeah. And you can, I don't know how to say it, but I don't want to say how important it is for them to see you up there, but how important it is for you to see, what's the feedback? Yeah, tell me about that.
I think it'd be pretty standard for anyone's kids the way it was for mine. At first, it was like, she's going to do what?
Right, okay.
they pay her to do that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so there is an evolution of thought.
Yeah, so there is, and they're kind of
something else going on.
Yeah, it's like trying to understand what the situation is, and then it's cool for a while, and then it's like, all right, well, I heard you practice these songs at the house for an hour yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't think about that.
Now we're going to the venue
That's
2 days from now, and I'm going to hear the songs again. And did you learn any new songs? I learned some. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll go. Can I bring one of my friends with me?
Oh, I just like learned 40 songs.
Yeah, it's like, what did they get out of it? The whole idea of the coolness of it fades away after a little while, man. And how long until I can play piano for you, right. It's like that kind of stuff.
What a serious progression there. Like,
yeah.
She's gonna do this, and the whole all right, man, like this is fucking boring.
Yeah.
I just want to, if I can get up there, maybe.
Exactly.
And maybe that's part of pushing it away a little bit. It just kind of gets.
I think it's just a familiarity. It's like
that's what happens.
It's family. You're supportive, but to what extent do you really need me to be there, Amanda? Right. It's like, because of course I love to have them around, and it's something that we can all have a part in together. But you get comfortable.
Right.
So it's just a regular thing now.
You gotta think there's festival kids, the kids.
Oh, they are festival goers. Justin's been bringing them to festivals long before he was with me.
Those ones that travel and sell grilled cheeses. God, these kids gotta be feeling it.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying with festival kids, but I'm talking about the real, fuck that would suck.
Like full-time festival kids.
So you take your kids to festivals, or Justin does. What's the coolest festival you've been to? It's family friendly. By the way, I could not think of family friendly festival if I could.
Well, let me tell you about one.
I'd be well, I'm not going to that festival. You could put Zeppelin, Hendrix, the Beatles, Prince all in one, and you got to be sober. I don't know if I could do it.
Yep.
I don't fucking know.
I totally hear you.
Go ahead.
But there are some. There's two actually in Waycross. So obviously, bigger festivals or there are concerts obviously that Justin and I go to that are not family friendly at all, and they don't come.
I figured I didn't want to call you out there.
No, not at all. Trust me, there are people and parents out there who you get to a show and you're like, oh, why'd you get here?
Yeah. You just want to can I I'll adopt them. I'll take it.
It's every time. There's always one. But
Spunions, man. Spunion youngins.
Yep. But in Waycross there is Graham Parsons Guitar Pull. Basically, it's a Graham Parsons themed camping music festival, and it's this huge field in Waycross. I mean, it's behind the wall. It's behind Walmart.
So far as it's Waycross, but keep going.
You'd never know. You're driving down the road. Walmart's on your right hand side. It's like, oh, hang it right here. Why are they taking us kind of near Walmart? And then you take another couple turns, and you're like, oh, there's this huge field here, and you set up your camper or your tents or whatever you have, wherever you want, and how far? I maybe a mile from the back of where you camp to half.
Not half a mile.
It feels bigger. But still, your kids can just run. There's other kids there. They have vendors. They have food vendors and arts and crafts vendors. And then the stage. And each band is required to play a couple of songs by Graham Parsons because they're celebrating Graham Parsons. Apparently, he's from Waycross.
It's a Waycross boy, yeah. 912 while you're out there.
Yeah, and they do other cover music as well, within their sets, and it's just perfect. It's perfect because they have that independence, that freedom. They can go, here's your money, buy food with it, buy whatever else you want with it, and you just kind of let him go and you don't have to worry about it. And so it's a lot of fun. And I think that another way that our family really gets to be involved in what Bob and I are doing, Justin does all of our sound. So it is really,
that's awesome.
It's major because it makes it to where what Bob and I are doing isn't separate from my time with him. You know what I mean? It's we get to be there together. We get to experience all that together, and it's not a separation or a burden at that point. It's something that we both get to do. And what's really great about that is some of our listeners, sometimes they want to go out and maybe their friends aren't available or their family aren't available and they still want to go out. And then they come and they message me, well, is anybody gonna be there? Yeah, you know Justin's gonna be there.
Right.
So it's like an extension of the band that they get to interact with and have conversations with and eat and drink with and hang out with. And, you know, it's just a full circle kind of thing. It's just a really cool experience.
Works out.
It really works out.
It's just, I wish as a comic, if you will, I obviously am far away from my hometown when I play, but I had that kind of going on, just that, well, you know, this guy's going to be there, so it's going to be a little rowdy.
Yeah.
You know, whether he's rowdy or not, it's like, you know, someone's going to be there, so it's going to work. No, I don't mean like you're cheating, but what happens is then you get friends to see you, and then you get friends to tell you other friends, and then it just becomes just a cool thing. And have you played at these festivals or a festival yet?
I did reach out about one. They also do a Swamptown Get Down Festival and Waycross.
That's what you were going to say earlier when you were talking about
the two. Yeah, that's the second
Swamptown
one.
Get Down.
And it's definitely a groovier vibe than what we do. But, you know, someone's got to play in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, someone's got to come in. Can't we sing you awake and then you can get out here and then like get down with the next band, you know? So there's a long waiting list for that apparently. I know there are some other local musicians though that I have found out that they have played there.
What Amanda just said is the equivalent of, hey, I'll work at this vet, right? I want to work at this vet and I'll shovel the shit. So what she's saying is, like, that's what she's fucking reaching out to do. Like, I want a piece of the pie.
Just a piece. I'm not trying to take over.
I think I'm correct in that analogy, which sucks, but it's
Porch Fest.
We did do Porch Fest, yeah.
Porch Fest was like
in Brunswick.
What, 25 bands or something on porches?
It was more, yeah. It was an all-day event. Basically, the homeowners sign up to be on the list for locations that bands are going to play, and then bands sign up to be assigned a location. Right. So we were given obviously a location and the contact information for those people. And basically whoever's managing Brunswick Porch Fest is the middleman for that. And then by the end, they're like, okay, you own this house, you've got this band. Hey, you're this band, you've got this house. Communicate, organize. You know, we're out of it now.
That's kind of
And it's actually free. Yeah, it's free for everybody.
Well, because you're just walking down the street, like walking in a cool hip neighborhood.
Right, and they'll provide. I've seen them. They had like buckets of like water and stuff, and maps. They like made these maps of the area, and it had the times that every band was going to play and where. And so it was
so
really
communal.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
like that's fun. And so when was that? And where was that? You said Brunswick.
It was November of last year, and shortly after that, they had reached out, hey, we're doing it again next year. It's going to be on this day. And of course, now with everything that's going on,
I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, they maybe could do it because people are in the streets, but it's hard.
Well, what I was going to touch on was how huge it was. Like how 50 plus 60. I mean, I said 25, you're like way more. So
well, I think
these homeowners. So what I'm saying is, yeah, like that's what they're probably worried about. It's like shit, man.
Exactly.
And also, November in Southeast Georgia is not November where some of you guys are from. Yeah. That's beautiful. That's springtime.
It's spring, yeah.
It's the second spring.
Spring in the fall.
So that's pretty awesome. You did the Porch Fest. I just want to go back to the family thing. Justin chimed in there and reminded her of Porch Fest, and this isn't it's family and not. You're a female. Your first female I've had on here. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're talented.
Thanks.
Like, I mean, you're just fun to talk to, right? But it's not our first date, but it's you're also playing in these bars and these restaurants and these venues and whatever. Do you feel a little differently treated as a female? From every sense of it, like the booking, the managing, the drunks, the aggressive the ones that hitting on you, the aggressive ones are like, play this fucking song. Like, do you
I've
feel
seen it all. I've definitely seen it all. My least favorite are play this fucking song.
Right.
Because they get like super aggressive. They're like in your face. They're intoxicated. So there's no reasoning or, your job is to just like try and de-escalate and move on, maybe do something that you maybe will accommodate them appropriately just a little bit to get them to lay off some, I mean, there are definitely certain venues that probably would get like hit on more than other venues. It really just depends. You're winging it pretty much every time. You just go with the flow.
Does this happen at like set break? Like you get these like the confident ones that are like not just cheering you on a little more, but like coming up to you at set break to buy you drinks. Like
or they'll start talking, and it's kind of funny to sometimes watch it all unfold because Justin's like always there. That's what's so funny about it.
I was kind of
ask it's like
is he ever to step in on something like
no,
that?
I mean. No one's that aggressive, and
show,
I can be not violently aggressive, but I'm not afraid to speak up for myself.
Passive.
Yeah,
that's how we put that in the guys. She wasn't aggressive, man. I could have took her, but like she definitely wasn't. I wasn't fucking with her.
Well, it's just sometimes you get them. They come up and they're like, they'll tell you like, I thought this dude was creeping on you, but now I'm realizing like he's your husband, so it's fine.
I get it all the time. We're batting way above our average, you know what I mean? It's tough.
I think it happens more when I'm live painting than, oh yes, my husband is very handsome.
So it happens more when you're painting?
More when I'm painting, I feel like, because that is something that they're encouraged to like watch.
Oh yeah?
The music, sometimes it can be a background thing. You're with friends, you're eating, you're drinking, whereas when you're painting, people, they want to see what's going to happen with it. It starts as a sketch. I've had people come up to me and say, yeah, about an hour ago, I was pretty sure you were doing that wrong and that it was pretty terrible. And I'm not really sure how it's evolved into what it is, but I just want to let you know for a little while, I thought you really sucked, but you redeemed yourself. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Or they'll come up and again, they'll say something, maybe trying to flirt a little bit, whatever. It's fine. Or like I already said, they'll think that Justin's creeping on me because he's hanging out nearby, talking to me. Exactly.
Interested in you. Being a husband, a good one.
Exactly.
So that really, there's just a little female thing. It wasn't too creepy, right? You've been kind of okay with that. Which is really cool.
It's all good.
You touched on your art earlier, and then while you're painting. So yes. I just wanted to show a couple of people. This is some murals that she's done that I found from, a couple of years ago now. But there's a few more in there that look awesome.
Yes, and I have to say before you switch pages,
go ahead.
4 out of 6 here are mine.
Oh, yeah, this is...
Yes, the very top left is Dennis's, and the one in the middle on the bottom is Lamar's. And there are 2 other local artists, very talented local artists. Lamar's does a lot of paint nights here and kind of in the Fernandina area. I know Dennis focuses more on mural work and like more gigging with that.
Tattoo artist at Ken's, I believe.
He? Wow. Okay. So
it's fantastic work he's doing, to be fair.
Great. Okay. So I'm actually kind of glad that you have their work up here because it gives an opportunity to talk about them a little bit.
I would have, you know what? I remember that. And, I didn't commission these, but I was there working there when they were getting up. And I would have thought about that later and just been like, holy shit. Like, I went live on Facebook and just like, while I was, man. But anyway, this is Janis Joplin. This is Dwayne Allman, Jerry Garcia. That's by my request, by the way. Awesome. And then Willie Nelson. And I wish I had more of them. I didn't, I guess I did have the time to prepare, but I didn't.
That's okay.
That being said, they're just so lifelike. They're all so different, like your songs.
Thanks.
Right? But they're all very... You can tell exactly
cohesive, I think. Yeah.
Cohesive is not a bad word. I've got one of my buddy Josh McGowan. I'm sure your buddy Josh McGowan.
Yes.
Posing in front of Willie here.
That's fantastic.
My computer's just not wanting to work all of a sudden.
That's all right.
Hopefully it pops up.
And there's one of your daughter in front of Janis that I love.
Yeah. I think
that.
I remember you calling.
She's just so cute and.
Well, oh Jesus! Look at all this going. There
Josh. You go.
Posing, he's dressed up as Forrest Gump, some Dr. Pepper, posing
perfect.
In front of Willie Nelson. That is just. I kind of want that tattoo.
Do it.
Your art is fabulous.
Thank you so much.
And it's really fun to look at, and I'm sure it is kind of fun to watch you do it. And I guess that's art. Like, she's fucking this song up, and then you take it on a crazy course or something. You know what I mean? But, how long have you been doing that? About the same time you've been doing your music? Like, not full time, but you're obviously a kid, right? Whatever.
It really was like this whole thing kind of fell together all at the same time. I've always done art jobs on the side. It's usually smaller projects here and there. The mindset that I had prior to 2018 was if I can get an art job every 3 months, quarterly,
right?
I'm good. I've done something each year, a little bit here, a little bit there, no big deal. And at open mic night at Jay's, I see these paintings going up, people working on them. I'm like, what the hell is going on in here?
Yeah.
Who's in charge? Sarah. Okay. Hey, Sarah. I know you don't know me. I'm a local. I'm also an artist. Check out my stuff. Here's my information. Can I get in on what's going on over here? I've got to do this. This is like my favorite thing. Portraits, big pieces, but portraits too. It's like, oh my God. And there were musicians. I was like, I got to get in on this. And she was super receptive right away. Oh, we'd love to, negotiated money. And that was it. And I started painting and I was like, it's just crazy. And that's what I always encourage people. Like, if you've got like this feeling like you've just got to do something, just do it, because I could be at home still doing nothing, and instead all it took was me to say, I'm going to go to this one event once a week. And just to feel fulfilled, like, oh, that's all I was going to need to like feel fulfilled. And then all of a sudden I'm like painting the whole venue.
Yeah.
And
like you did
performing
6 of them now?
It's a lot. It's
Check out Jay's channel just simply to see her work. It's like 6, 7, or 8.
It's more because then she did the VIP room and there was another 4.
Prince is in there. John Prine's in there.
Yes, it was so fun. Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
Yeah, so the whole venue. So like you're saying, that's kind of your message. Is
just do it. Yeah, don't practice. You got to put the work in. It's like you've got to have the mindset and the confidence that not everybody's going to like me, but don't let people not like you because you're not giving quality music or quality work, and no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I still have to work on what I'm doing all the time. I always make, enough mistakes that I can keep learning, continue learning even
that's a great way to look at that shit.
Yeah, it's like,
holy shit, that's I want to get that tattoo. That's a way to put that. It's like, I'm always going to make it. That's a crazy way. What a cool, positive.
Thanks.
But it sounds negative and on paper, like if I wrote it down on paper kind of thing. I'm always gonna fucking make mistakes, but wow, what a cool way to look at it.
Thanks.
And what a cool way to look at it, like as your passion, or to your passion, or at your passion. I guess is the right word. We're really working on this. I promise. So I kind of want to get into the fact that you're in a duo, right?
Yeah.
Because I've had some people on the show that are in bands and things like that. Not so quite. Mm-hmm. You can listen if you like here. But I want to just play a song of yours. Oh, man, that's from last night's episode.
It's all good.
Which was pretty funny. Check it out, people. Let's see. And we can continue talking. So part of being in a duo is just, is it frustrating? Is it cool? Is there a lot of push and pull? Or is it very natural to you to just be
Bob and I have been
into it?
In one argument. It was pretty serious.
Really?
I mean, it was very.
We don't have to get into details, but I want to hear about it.
I won't. Yeah, I won't do that. It's like something that started out so tiny, and this is like over the span of just a couple of days. We tick each other off on this day, and then give it a few days, it'll mellow out. Check in. It's gonna be cool. We'll figure it out. Maybe we've aggravated each other a little bit again in that effort to kind of mend it. And then a few days after that, we're good again. And Bob looked at me and he said, we're a real band now.
Oh, that makes super sense.
Yes, I was like, I love you, because we were honestly kind of waiting for it.
And it was all over like the band. It was about music. It wasn't I don't want to come to practice or anything like that.
No, we very rarely practice. Like I said, we only get together to practice if I've learned new material. And it's like we give it 2 hours and we're good. And that's it. And we're probably going to do it just a little bit different every time. I'm going to mess with him, like when we do Ring of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
When he does that lick, excuse me, the dun 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 dun. He always gives me that look like, I love this song, I love playing my guitar, but there's something about this lick that I hate. Like whatever the fingering is for him, I don't know what it is. And so we'll kind of go through it. But each time, if I want to add another lead break, that is not difficult to do. All I have to do is keep playing my guitar. Or sing the chorus one more time. And he's like waiting for me to kind of like repeat the last few words of the chorus. Like, oh, okay, she's gonna take it down now. She's gonna end the song. And I won't.
Well, that's it, isn't it? That's what all band fights
and he looks at me and, I mean, that's not what we fought about. But
I'm the leader here, motherfucker.
It's just messing with him. It's just so fun. And no,
He's a little up there in age, too. Don't mess with him too much.
No, I won't. Yeah, he'll take me out probably if I made him mad enough. But No, it's just, my point is, like, we had so much fun for so long. It's like, the wheels have got to fall off eventually. At least one, to throw us out of balance for even just a little bit. And
get mad at your kids every once in a while.
Exactly. And I like that you said that, because it's literally exactly the same. It's just like any other relationship that you have with anybody. You know, it's really good. You're really excited about it. And then the new relationship gaze kind of fades off for just a second, because it's like, that ticked me off, dude. Don't do that. And you got to work through it.
Relationship energy, the NRE.
Yeah. And you got to work through it. And once you work through that, and he's absolutely right. He's like, we're a real band now. And I can't imagine making music with anybody else, because it's as easy as it is. And I know, awesome, and I'm not taking it for granted, because I know, like, if for any reason we wound up making music with other people, it's going to be way harder. It's going to be so much more work than what it is we're doing right now. Straight up having a good time.
Well, that's cool. And you answered my next question was about, when does it come in the playing and the things like that. And it's just, you're right, AJ, we're a real band now. It's you were like, oh yeah, I fuck with him here and he fucks me here. So that's kind of where I was going with the playing thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to turn on this, which we can hear. You can listen if you'd like. I mean, I've listened to it, but it's The Boxer, the cover by Simon and Garfunkel. And I'll let people listen for about a minute, and then I'll get some duo questions. Tell me about it.
I was like, maybe I should talk over the music. I love the song. It's actually one of Justin's favorite songs. I love Simon and Garfunkel. It's just like any other band. You're inspired by them. You love listening to them. And when you have that urge to sing or make music, it's like, okay, which song of this artist is going to be good for me? You got to find one. And I just always love the lies in this song. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to learn. And I started learning it, and Justin overhears me learning the song. He's like, yes! I'm like, yes! Someone's excited. But it doesn't hit every time. Not everybody's into Simon and Garfunkel, or maybe this is not their favorite Simon and Garfunkel song. And it's a very emotional song, really. It's one of those that kind of trick you. It's like with the melody and with the chorus, and you don't realize really what it's about, but it's a great song, and I love it. And
it's one that the audience should listen to. Instead, it's not like I always compare it to The Office. Like everyone watched The Office 40 times on Netflix, because you can turn it on and do nothing or do everything else.
Right.
Whereas this one is like, especially covering folk, like, you're not rocking the house. These are difficult to pick. You definitely play. I mean, I heard someone say that the comments over the video just suck, but someone's video and it was great. Do you run into that because of the folk music that you're playing? And I know you've done Billie Eilish and things like that. She's all over the fucking board.
Yeah, thank you.
But you guys are, and it's crazy. By the way, real quick, we shouldn't talk over it, but you can check them out. Full Moon Folk Duo on Facebook. You sound fantastic.
Thank you.
So does Bobby. He's adapted a little bit, but So back to that, like, you're playing this chill stuff. Mm-hmm. With all due respect to it, like, it's great.
Yeah. We call it easy listening.
What happens in these? I mean, is it happening in some of these places where it's just like, shit, wrong venue, wrong night?
You gotta feel the crowd a little bit. I'll say it can feel that way sometimes, but because we cover such a wide variety of genres, even if they're not vibing on Simon and Garfunkel, I can switch and like do a Sylvan Esso song or just anything from like the 90s, like
which people love right now.
And or maybe it came out maybe 2000s really, but the 90s kids are out there just like me,
I'm there, I got you.
They're like, oh shit, I used to hear "Thank You" by Dido on the radio all the time, and you hit him with that, or you hit him
seriously 2003, right?
Yeah, right. And that and "Zombie" by the Cranberries, it's like, and then we just learned "My Hands" by Jewel. So it's like
they see that's a 90s.
Yeah, I love it. So it's so fun, and there's some that you can really like some folk music too that the originals are very mellow, but you pick your strum pattern and you get that tambourine going, and it's like people are dancing. They get up and they dance. Right. And I think there's a little bit of a misconception that everything we're doing is like super mellow and low key, but it's not. It's not. There's some that like when we played Outer Banks, I mean, they have a pool table in there. They've got their outdoor patio. People are coming there. They want to get a little bit rowdy. Last time we were in there, the whole place was singing along with us. We had this one girl and her friends and they were belting these songs out with me.
Yeah.
And in between, Bob was like, "Are you okay? Like, can you sing with them?" Oh, hell yes. Yes, let them. I love it.
Here for,
I would so rather them be that excited about the music and engaged and screaming at me than
good
not.
bandmate though. I mean, good for him.
Oh
to check
yeah,
on you, but,
he's awesome.
Yeah, let them sing. That's
definitely for sure.
So I feel like we could go on for like hours.
Yeah,
and I haven't even just at least my questions. I think things like that, and we should definitely try and do a part 2 one day. All that, right?
For sure.
But this is a part of the show where we just kind of we fantasize a little bit, right? You're doing this, great. We don't do it for the money, right? It's all hypotheticals here. But this is what I kind of rapid fire, gun to the head kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to answer, right? And you can answer as nice and as pretty as you want.
Sure.
But you can also answer as, let's be crazy. It's funny, right?
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. Look, you've sold a record, you've got $25 million in the bank, something like $100 million, like limitless fucking money.
Right.
Right. What would you do first?
Mm-hmm.
What would you buy first?
Now, this is the problem.
It's okay.
I'd love to have a good time, but there's just this practical side of me that I can't eliminate.
You want to buy a house?
Oh yeah, I'll buy a house. I'll buy a camper. I'll buy a car.
There's camper.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Camper.
Like
That's
I won't work. Everyone's like, oh, I have to work. Everything I do is work. Everything that I choose to do that I love to do, I'm putting effort into it as though it were work.
Well,
so I don't need to have a day job to feel like I'm productive.
I want to hear about the camper. Why the camper?
Because
that's what we're getting to know.
We want to do full
Stop
time.
spreading these messages to these assholes.
Full-time
Great
music.
listeners. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Full-time music is always a dream until it seems realistic. I just cannot bring myself to do it. Bob jokes all the time, just quit your job. Just quit your job.
Yeah, right. It's so
like, why are you going to work every day? Well, because I have responsibilities. I have people relying on me. Maybe when the kids are grown and they're out of the house and they're financially responsible for themselves and, the other house is paid off, I might be like, okay, cool. Like, we can do this now. We're going to go make money. And in sometimes it really feels realistic. Last year before this pandemic, the Facebook memories.
Yeah. God, this is going to suck
we had
a couple of years.
Pushing 20 gigs a month over the summer last year. And now we've got 8,
Right.
So it's like, then, I mean, it's a good bit of it. I make more with music when we're booked like that than I would ever at my day job,
right.
And I have a respectable day job. It's not like I don't make any money.
Stop giving her money. She only wants to buy a camper. And take the fuck off out of here.
Yes, and just go play music. Bob would do it tomorrow. He really would.
Yeah,
He'd get in the car. He'd probably drive all the way down Florida and then all the way back up and then all the way up and then all the way back down and just go out there and let people know about us. And I think I'll be really ready for that when we have even more original music. When I feel like we've actually got more than just an enjoyable experience where it's like, no, this is what I'm writing about. This is why I think it's important. This is what I've done with it. And this is why I think you need to hear it. And you and you and you and you and everybody all over needs to hear what I have to say and how I have to say it.
It's incredible. I think your confidence is incredible. I think it's, I don't know. I'm not saying anyone else has been on here isn't passionate and loves what they're doing and all that and has these dreams, but like you write it for a different reason. Like you're doing it for a different, and just like they all are. And it's very cool to see. It's very positive. Everything you answer, it's all positive. So let's get to some negative. And I really mean everything to say.
That's cool. I can be negative, bro.
Perfect. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done on stage? What's the dumbest thing, stupidest, silliest, embarrassing? Like something just that you're just like, oh man.
And we all get tongue-tied. That happens sometimes. The song you've played a million times, you play it and you do it wrong.
Forget the third verse.
Yeah, it's like you go through the verse and you get into the chorus and then you're playing the verse chords again for some reason. And you've got another person up there with you who's in the key they're supposed to be in. So when you get off track, well, now they're off track. We call it jazz.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
when
perfect.
Bob hits a bad
I think that's what
note.
people call it.
Yeah.
It's roaring 20s, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Bob plays a bad note, and I look at him, and he knows I'm just kidding, But I'm just gonna give him a hard time and mess with him because he hit a bad note, and he just look at me like, Jazz, get off my back, and so that definitely happens. And the other day we were at Seagulls. We had a gig at Seagulls last weekend, and there's 2 songs that I play. Different songs, obviously, and the strum pattern is similar, but the rhythm of it is different.
Sure. And
Tennessee Whiskey is one of them, and he jokes every time we turn the page and it's Tennessee Whiskey. He goes, "You remember how to do it?" And I'm like, "We'll find out." And I'll start strumming, and he's like, "Oh, you got it." And I'm like, "No, this isn't right." And I actually had to mute my guitar, run through it, and I'm like, "What is wrong with me?" Usually, if I sing the lyric in my head, I get that strum pattern right away. And I learned this past weekend that it's much easier to do that in my head on the chorus and pick it right back up than on the verse. Because sometimes the lyric skips those beats that would help you kind of find that rhythm. Sure. The chorus is a little more...
It's tough to sing and play at the same time.
It can be. But yeah, I had to take a minute. And we had one table real close, and Bob and I have a pretty good back and forth. So even when we're like, oh, damn, I don't remember how the hell to do my job. Like, they're like, that's actually kind of funny.
Well, that's good.
It's not like an embarrassing moment or anything like that. I think at the very beginning, there was that stress a little bit. Like, are we amateur? Are we good enough? Sure. Are people going to hear us and think that we're worth listening to? And then you do it enough times and you realize that that's when you get into that, okay, I'm providing something quality. Not everyone's going to like it, but it's quality. And that's when you start to build the confidence a little bit. You do it more. But I feel like it would really take a lot for me to feel embarrassed while I was up there.
Just got to stay fun, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's when you don't get embarrassed. When you're having the fun. So one more negative, and then we'll get into, I guess, one more positive. We're running low on time here, and then we'll finish it with the consistent finisher. But worst venue you ever played?
The worst venue I ever played.
Worst.
What was it?
You can say it. You don't.
I hate to name a venue because
you don't have to name
I know what it's called.
Do you? Okay, I don't even remember what it's called. We got there and we were actually. It wasn't our gig really.
Okay.
What we sometimes do because Bob has a full band, Black Sheep.
Yep.
And especially when we're starting out, maybe once a month, twice a month, we would play in between Black Sheep sets.
Oh, wow.
Or we would open for Black Sheep.
Tough. That's a lot of work for him.
Yeah, it's a lot of work for him. Yes, definitely. But like I said, he'll do it. He doesn't care. As long as he's making music and making money, he's like all about it. And we walked into this venue and I am not a person who can't find words, and it is almost difficult to describe this place because I told you I can be negative, but I almost hate to publicly be negative. Was it Nahunta?
Nahunta, Georgia.
I can only imagine. You know what? That's where that guy, the one example that I had where they're like really aggressive and like yelling at you, he was there. It was one of
Bob Seger, turn the page right now. Get the hell out of my bar.
He was in my face. I mean, the mic is hot. The mic can't get hotter. I can't hear you. Like it was great. And like, everyone's like, we can hear you. I don't know what that guy is talking about, but it was just crazy. There was just this vibe. And I was like, you know what? I don't know that I've ever really felt like this before, but I feel like I maybe am not even safe a little bit. Like someone, people are like
piss on the floor or anything. It was
it was the vibe. It was like this weird.
It's even the worst, isn't it? It's like, there's not stalls or stall doors. It's like, whatever. But
yeah. I don't know. Like,
oh, yeah, that's the worst.
We live in a small town. Everybody knows each other. This was like everybody knows everybody. And like I felt like an outsider, and there was some love, but some weirdness. It was like this aggressive. Yeah, I'm like, this vibe is bad. Like, I feel like anything could happen. Like, someone could just throw a punch and knock me out right now for no reason.
And then take you to their backyard, which is the swamp woods, and they right?
Yeah. And I'll just never be found again.
Yeah, it's like the liver's kind of shit, man.
That was the vibe though, and I can't accuse them of being that way. It's just how it felt, and then there was a lot of that aggressive vibe in the air. There was a fight that broke out, remember? And it was like everything was fine. And then it was like bam, bam, and it was like.
I just imagine you playing like something really sweet up there too. Like,
well, there were some of the customers. I hear you, but some of the customers were really sweet. They were like, "Oh my gosh, like you can play, Elvis? Please play as Elvis." And then
you're playing "You'll Never Walk Alone" by Elvis. And there's just a fucking like 6 people throwing phones.
It was weird. It was like some people dancing, like loving the music, and then some people just like staring.
Oh no, that's
and I'm like,
tough too.
And it's like. Okay, they
just looking at you.
Or they hate us, or like, what's going on? And then like you kind of like smile a little bit because I try to be engaged with who's paying attention. Like if you're paying attention, I want you to know that I'm noticing you're paying attention to me, and like have some kind
of. It's awkward, huh?
Well, it could be good, but when they're just like
when they're just doing that, yeah.
And you're like, oh my god.
I've done that on stage.
They're like contemplating how they're gonna murder me later. Like, it's just so weird. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
You want to just resort to anything up there at that point.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna answer this honestly the way I expect. But best venue, best show, best time you've ever had performing.
The moment that I was like, oh my god, it is freaking awesome to play at this venue was the first time that we played at the Sandbar for Nina.
Oh, that's a great venue.
Literally, it's like, how the hell did I get here on the beach? The sky is gorgeous. The water is just moving.
Right there,
the birds, and it's like everyone's listening to our music.
You're providing that magic. I have got chills thinking about how cool that is.
I have chills actually.
That's a really like that.
It was amazing. I'm like,
that's a great answer.
Yes, I was like 6 months ago, I was like telling myself that there's no way I could do anything for myself. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to do it. And now I'm here. And, it's not anything so important.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
But it's not fucking important.
But I see what you mean there.
We all have a radio in our car for a reason, Amanda.
Yeah.
Like it's hopefully you listen to podcasts every once in a while. But also,
definitely.
It's music.
It is. But, they put you in a corner, especially when you're a duo. So many places, they just put you in the corner, put you in the corner, put you in the corner. You're like, I'm on the damn beach right now. Like, I am like, it's just so beautiful that this is get to be where I get to hang out with Bob and make music and get paid for it. And that's just,
it's super
amazing.
Important. Just thinking about, like, how many people are tourists or sitting on that beach, just people have never seen the ocean before. I mean, it's crazy how diverse it could be, but they're sitting listening to your tunes. That's really cool. Very cool answer on that. Well, again, we're going to wrap it up, but this is what I ask everybody. Before we go, though, since you put in the effort to bring this, I'd love you one more time. Tell people where you were at and where we can see you locally in the St. Mary's, Georgia area, Kingsland, Georgia area.
Definitely. So I'm checking on air. Excuse me. This Friday, we're at Brackish from 5:30 to 8:30. The 15th Saturday, we are at...
You want me to do it? You're okay.
Sure. So this is where we are on the 15th, and then it goes just through here.
They're at Osprey Cove on the 15th. Find a friend that was at Osprey Cove and lives out there if you want to go see that out. Next Friday, the 21st, we're at 401 West in St. Mary's. That's an amazing venue. Like, you want to talk about sunsets and beaches area, that's a great place to check out. Fulford's Fish House on the 22nd. Oh, no, that's the thing that you did earlier. They're at OBX. They're at Outer Banks in Kingsland, 7 to 10 on the 22nd. 29th, they're at Seagulls. And then the 26th, they're at, it looks like, Fulford's Open Mic. Awesome. Wow. Honored as well. Just caught that she had me on the calendar.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you for reading that for me.
Oh, no, I get it. I've been there and I've done it. And you really tried very hard. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, I meant like with that part.
Oh, yeah.
One more question is best advice. It could be music, it could be life, but typically as it pertains to music and artistry, best advice you've ever been given, best advice you can give, and then we're done here.
I think the best advice really that I could give is don't let other people put you down. Because I remember when Bob and I were first starting, there was some, vibes that we would get from people like we weren't as good. You know what I mean? Right. We weren't as good as maybe what other people were doing or what was going on.
You weren't playing the AC/DC covers.
Maybe. Yeah,
and didn't have to pay too much attention.
So it's do what you want to do it well, and don't let anybody change what you're doing. Yeah, I'm not going to change my genre that I enjoy because I think that someone else thinks theirs is better. No, there's an audience for everything and everybody, so again, just do what you want, how you want, listen to the crowd a little bit, but don't compromise it,
Right.
and have a good time. That's why moments like at the Sandbar are such a good thing, because even though to somebody else it might be just such a small thing, like, oh, good for you. You guys make what, $300 and yeah, it's like, and okay, you're on the beach and good for you. Played a few songs that aren't even yours, whatever. But you know what? I had a good time. I made money doing it. That provides for my family. That allows me to do what I want to do, and that is the dream. That is the dream, to do what you like. Look at what you're doing. You're doing what you want to do. You're making something of it. That is so important. That is so important.
But I definitely understand exactly what you're saying. So, anything else you want to say to anyone before you get out of here?
Whoever's out there listening, I appreciate it, and I hope even if just a little tiny thing that I said helped you, that means a lot to me.
Well, if anyone listened to the whole thing, and hopefully they did, that they will definitely, I swear they'll take something out of it, especially if they're wanting to do something with their passion. And that's what this is all about. Thank you so much for being here.
I really mean it. Thank you for having me.
This was awesome. MickMotherwell.com. Check it out. It's a lot. This is available on YouTube, Spotify, Google, Apple, CyberFM, Anchor FM, and of course, MickMotherwell.com. Check me out. Check Amanda out. Full Moon Folk Duo. Do you have an artist page or anything that you want to plug?
It's Amanda Moore Custom Art. So
Amanda Moore Custom Art.
Yeah, Facebook.com/Amanda Moore Custom Art /
Check that shit out. Guys, this was Bagpipes to Banjos, and thank you so much, Amanda, for being here. Let's wave.
Bye.